So, what is evolution? Okay, there's of course Darwin's theory of evolution, but we're not talking about Darwin's theory of evolution. We're talking about a different theory of evolution. This evolution makes actually a lot of sense in the universe. Verse. Most people are lost. Humanity is lost, of course. Of course. Most humans believe in the same thing. Okay, mostly believe. There's a lot of humans, who believe to Abrahamic faiths, of course, and there's a lot of other humans who believe in atheism, which is basically a materialistic communist replacement for religion and spirituality. See, essentially. See, but the whole why that evolution is that there's those that first of all is the whole why there's nothing after death. That's a whole big why. Okay, that's a whole why in of itself, of course. Well, of course, that is the materialist communist view of death. That's the and of course the universe. The universe eventually comes to an end. Everything must come to an end because that's what science tells us. But evolution is not like that. Okay? Evolution is about life and death. Death. And of course, rebirth. That is the whole thing of evolution. You're evolving every single time. Your consciousness is evolving every single time you live. Every single time. Most of us have likely lived for millions, billions, and trillions of years. 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 As well. But how is that possible? Big Bang, blah, 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 blah. No, the Big Bang is another, of course, materialistic, scientific, communist theory. The universe has always existed and always will exist. The universe is eternal and reincarnates over time. Stars reincarnate, planets reincarnate. That's the natural thing of the universe. And it's just, why don't people most people subscribe that the universe has a beginning or end? There's no beginning or end of the universe. First, because the universe has always existed. Because humanity, of course, can't comprehend eternity. So, of course, humanity makes up the, idea of the Big Bang and the materialistic theory of the Big Bang, essentially. Big Bang is just another materialistic view of life. Of course, it's another very, very, very. It's essentially, a materialistic view of religion. Okay, that the Big Bang, and again, there are all these people trying to say, well, there's so much evidence for the Big Bang. But the Big Bang is a materialistic view of the universe. That's essentially what it is. It is. Essentially. It is the materialistic view of how our universe works. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You can view the universe in however you want. But I view this world through I realized months ago that I view the universe now from logic and reason and rationality. Okay, if you look at how the universe works, of course, the universe is ran by three key principles: mathematics, and of course, plasma and electricity, and of course, gravity to some extent. But the whole thing, most of the things that science tells you, is essentially a materialistic view of society. You look at all the scientists, they deny spirituality. They say there's no such thing as an afterlife. They tell you there's no such thing as an afterlife. Of course, there is. There is one, obviously. Of course. For example, many people have called spirits and people that they have recently passed they were able to talk to. Okay, so there's no doubt that there was an afterlife, of course. Which again, but look at that. But again, if you look at the materialistic view of society, there's no afterlife, and there is no before life. Of course, there's an afterlife. There's of course gonna be a before life, and again, that is the evolution of things. You reincarnate to evolve. Okay, that's the whole purpose of reincarnation. Okay, most souls usually start out as simple beings: plants, insects, bacteria, amoebas, and other, simple organisms. And they work their way up the intelligence ladder. Okay, they go through reptiles, they go through many other organisms, through and throughout again. Again as well. They go more and more up the evolutionary ladder. And again, reincarnation is not limited to Earth, it's the far of religions, of the religious view. It's because it's always humanity centric. It's always a human centric thing. Which of course is wrong, because there's alien life. And most religions usually exclude animals. Animals and alien life is subject to the same laws of the universe as everyone else. Okay? An intelligent alien race, let's just say E.T. or the Saiyans, okay? They're subject to the same laws and the same rules at the universe as us humans, okay? Religion always tends to put humans as special. We are so special, okay? Again, all intelligent life is special, but we act like we're the only ones in the universe, okay? Every creature and every being has a soul, soul. From your simple single-celled organism to your earthworm to an elephant and others, and to your dog, and of course to your cat, and all your other pets. Okay, that explains how people can see their dogs and their cats in the afterlife, because of course you are connected with them already spiritually, no matter if they're alive or dead. The souls already contact you. The souls, the consciousness, essentially, always contacts you. Okay? Same thing with seeing your loved ones after you die. You see your loved ones because those souls and consciousness are waiting for you. Okay? All your loved ones are waiting for you. While they do that, they go and create reality, their own realities, in the soul world and the spirit world, essentially. Again, evolution in the universe. You have been evolving for millions of years, most likely. You likely had a past life as a dinosaur or a dinosaur-like creature. You probably have been evolving for trillions or billions of millions of years, which is what they call old and new souls. Old souls are already used to reincarnation. They're already used to the evolution of life as they know it. They're already used to it. And they already know the human experience or the intelligent life experience. The experience of being an intelligent life form. Okay? Same thing, but new souls are not used to being an intelligent life form. So of course they are new to it. They have recently evolved from non-intelligent life forms. Of course, for example, animals like parrots, dolphins, cephalopods, dogs, cats, apes, basically, and other neo-intelligent life forms in this universe as well. So new souls are essentially people, basically they're new to the human experience. They're new to being a human or another intelligent life form. Because of course there's aliens out there. They're used. Again, old souls already are basically they have adapted to the human experience. They have adapted to becoming intelligent. They have adapted to basically becoming an intelligent organism. But the eventual goal of a creature, of a soul, a consciousness, is to become immortal. Okay, consciousness is already immortal. Okay, consciousness cannot be created or destroyed. It already is immortal. Okay, but your body isn't. That's the reason why. Why all life forms seek immortality. Because once a life form gains immortality, they become a god. And eventually, once they seek this immortality, they'll be able to eventually become a godlike race. So basically, you have likely existed for millions upon millions of years, probably even billions or even trillions or even much longer. But only very, very recently, you have basically become adapted to intelligent life. You have basically become an intelligent life form. Intelligence is very rare in the universe. First, because most intelligent life either kills themselves or doesn't even evolve in the first place, and can't get past these simple cell states, which of course is the hardest one to pass. Passing the simple cell states is a very hard one to pass. Most life form is microbial, and most never pass these simple cell states. So yeah, the universe is eternal and is infinite. Same thing with your consciousness. Your consciousness is immortal. Essentially, after you die, you go back to the universe. The universe that, again, the universe has always, again, no matter how you feel, no matter how hated you feel, the universe always loves you, always welcomes you with open arms, essentially. No matter how much abuse, no matter how much trauma you face in your lifetime, the universe always loves you, always cared for you. It always has been there for every step of the way. The universal consciousness has always been there for you and on your side ever since you have been born. There is no Big Bang. Okay, there's no such thing as Big Bang. Because the universe has always existed. And the universe truly started and a creature to time frame is once your consciousness is created, and you have to go up the ladder of evolution, then to reach intelligence and eventually become God itself. Well, humanity is in the dark ages of humanity. We're currently in the dark age of humanity, essentially. Humanity is not in a good state right now. We're very, 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 very divided. You have, of course, a lot of materialists out there trying to debunk the afterlife because there's no proof or evidence of it. They try to tell you that the universe is going to end eventually, and there's no such thing as true immortality, even though the universe is infinite and has always existed. Okay? Consciousness cannot be created or destroyed. Consciousness is separate from your brain. Okay? Separate from your mind. Okay? Your consciousness has been evolving for millions upon billions of years of evolution. And soon humanity will soon transcend past the life and death cycle. Will soon pass. And once humanity becomes immortal, more and more creatures will go up the evolutionary ladder to join humanity. To become a godlike being. Humanity will start to realize that we are the gods. We are actually gods ourselves. That we will essentially awaken our god-like element. Defeating stuff like aging. Defeating stuff like death. Okay? That's the whole goal of intelligent life. But the problem is, we have to get past the whole notion. All this stuff that is crowding the judgment of humanity. That is crowding the judgment of humanity. Humanity is currently a very, very, very selfish and very, very, very sad state. Okay. Okay. Humanity is currently very, very, very selfish. It took me 19 years, okay, to realize that humanity is selfish, okay? Because I was part of that too. I used to be just as selfish as the rest of humanity. I used to be just as selfish as the rest of the humanity. But I have done all my research. I have gone through all of the reincarnation stories, a lot of near-death experiences and stuff, and I have concluded. First of all, there is an afterlife. Of course, I have not experienced one myself, unfortunately, because I never nearly died. Okay, the closest I had, the worst thing that's ever happened to me was when my arm got broken in 3rd grade. That was the worst thing that has ever really happened to me physically. But I never nearly died by anything. Not even a sickness. Maybe when I was a baby, but of course I can't remember because I was still a baby. Of course. But the whole entire universe is, again, we don't know 99% of what the universe is about. Okay. There are tons of cases of reincarnation. Even I myself, I believe I have lived before. Okay. I believed that I lived before. Okay. I've always had that thought that yeah, I might have lived before. I might have lived on this planet before. Okay. I bet there's probably a ton of other people who believe that just as well as I do. Okay, that I lived on this planet before. Okay. Okay. And the problem is scientists refuse to study this. There's very, 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 very few scientists that study past life memories. Very, very few. Scientists. Very, very few. That's because both scientists subscribe to the materialist reality. Stuff like Big Bang, stuff like everything must come to an end. Because if death truly isn't final, which it isn't, that means the universe does not end. Okay? And there was no such thing as a beginning of the universe, like they always try to tell you. Okay? And documentaries as well. And I believe soon humanity will soon wake up to that truth. Soon wake up to the truth. And from the divided state that we lived in. But again, if we don't, humanity will never evolve. Humanity will be stuck in this life and death cycle. Humanity will be stuck in the same cycle it has been for the past 200,000 years. Okay? We carry on skills between reincarnations as well. Okay? We carry on souls. And, the whole thing about the overpopulation problem. Well, the thing that explains it is that more and more creatures are evolving into intelligent life forms, either on this planet and either on other planets, obviously as well. More and more and more creatures are evolving into intelligent life forms, and because humans are the only intelligent life forms on this planet, of course, many creatures are gonna reincarnate into humans, eventually continuing the evolution of the world. Obviously, we essentially. So yeah, that's what evolution is. Okay, and then I'll go over another one. Is life simply just a video game? Yep. Is life simply just a video game? A movie, essentially. A movie, but you are the protagonist. So, that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.